Welcome to the LivXplore podcast. If you like what you hear, please hit like and subscribe. Hello, everyone. I'm Sean Payne, founder of LivXplore Real Estate and Lifestyle. And again, today I have with me Isaiah Chass, our founding agent. Isaiah, thanks for joining us.
Of course. We have exciting stuff today talking about really cool little community up north on the coast.
Yep, Sea Ranch, a really unique community. And I think, Isaiah, what kind of brought to your attention, probably like 4 or 5 years ago now, right before COVID hit, maybe about a year before COVID hit. I know that you've been working with clients up there, and so kind of saw what a unique community it was and kind of isolated that way.
Absolutely. So being that I grew up racing bicycles, my training took me to so many unique spots in Northern California, specifically areas such as Sea Ranch. If you don't know what Sea Ranch is, it's on the Northern California coast, north of Jenner, not quite in Mendocino County, but it's at the border there. Sea Ranch was initially a spot where the Pomo Indians would seasonally travel to in order to collect kelp and shellfish, which they'd obviously end up surviving off of for the coming seasons. From there, it was passed into new hands through the Mexican land grant, and from there, it passed into future hands, eventually into ranchers who used the spot as a sheep ranch. They had about 5,000 acres of land to graze their sheep on. And in fact, a lot of the plants you see there now were planted by the ranchers as windblock, being that it's right there on the coast. You get quite a bit of wind, and they needed some protection from that, so that's what they did. From there, it was passed into a developer's hands who purchased the land to obviously develop, and he trusted a lot of faculty members at UC Berkeley to develop it into what it is known as and seen as now. They started off with the building of condominium number 1, which is actually now placed on the National Register of Historic Places since 2005. Now the idea of Sea Ranch is that all the homes are built within the land. That meaning they don't stick out from the land as something that doesn't look like it should be there. Everything is built so that it looks like it grew within the land that surrounds it. So you're not going to see bright colors and things sticking out that wouldn't naturally look there. And they use a lot of natural resources to build their homes up there so that it retains that, native feel. And I think that's one of the things that's so special about Sea Ranch. They actually placed a 3-part process in place where they use livestock to graze the land, and that also helps keep down invasive plants that shouldn't be let to flourish. And then they use the land to grow and cultivate plants and fruits, vegetables that they use in the restaurant. From there, they use the waste from the restaurants to create mulch and fertilizer to continue that cycle around. And that's what's so special about Sea Ranch in my eyes, is that you don't see a lot of communities around here, really anywhere for that matter, that is so focused on retaining that native environment and native process around the community. There's so much to do in Sea Ranch. I could go on forever about that, but specifically cycling, hiking, river kayaking. There's even a beautiful 18-hole Scottish-style golf course that a lot of people travel far distances from to play on because it's such a special course, and people have really said it's a very Scottish feel, which you don't see very often. I think one of the best things about Sea Ranch is its local proximity. It's really so close to the Bay Area, even though it has a really separated feel where you really don't realize that everything else in the world is going on because what they've built there. But its local proximity to the Bay Area is what makes it so special in my eyes.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think, again, like prior to COVID, Sea Ranch was kind of seen, prices were less there prior to COVID because it was farther away. So, most people were looking at, if they wanted, a a lifestyle property out on the beach. They were looking at Dillon Beach. If they were priced out there, they would go up to the Bodega Bay Area. And then when COVID hit and people couldn't get outside, like you couldn't get on a flight and go up to Montana, or like you're greatly outside the area or something like that, or Southern California or Mexico or anything like that, people started looking at Sea Ranch because it's 100 miles north of the Golden Gate, about 2 hours, about a 2-hour drive from San Francisco. In our notes here, it's about an hour and a half from, various areas in Sonoma County. But on a nice clear day, it's a beautiful drive, and it seems like it's much less than that. It's a really fun drive to go up there that way. So yeah, I think COVID kind of changed that landscape where people were like, where can we go? And they saw this like really cool little hip community up north, and were willing to make that drive that way. And I have an article here from Forbes that Sea Ranch was the highest. Experienced the highest real estate price increases in the San Francisco Bay Area in 2021. So right when COVID was going on that way, or a little bit after, people again looked up there, and it saw really steep price increases. I want to say, let's see here, what was it in 2021? Oh yeah, it was 38%. That's what I thought. So 38% price increase is what they saw in 2021 alone.
And there's one home up there that it listed for $8 million and it sold for $12 million. It was, I think, 2,000 square feet, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. It was the largest piece of property up there, but still, I mean.
Right. Yep. Yeah, it went for about 38% over the asking price, right? Like, so that seems, it's a little bit of an interesting market that way. And, we're keeping our eyes on it because, hopefully this isn't the case, but often what goes up must come down. You're in a community over there that has a lot of, they're not full-time residents over there. And I think you can talk a little bit about that you have a lot of people that have second homes,
right?
And a lot of people that short-term rental it out there as well. So.
Yeah. I mean, out of the 1,900 homes up there, about 98% of them are second homes. And what's interesting to note is that out of those, say 98% of them that are second homes, the majority of them are coming out of the Bay Area,
right.
Spread out, through Silicon Valley, San Francisco, Marin, and that general area. And that, again, attests to its proximity to those
right.
locations.
Yep.
It's kind of that getaway. I mean, you even have an airport there that you can get there that much quicker.
Right. Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, 98%, that's amazing. So
I don't know if there's any other market that we have
that's like that.
Yeah.
And that's why it's something to watch to see what happens over the course of the next, year and a half, 2 years that way. You have that many second homes. A lot of them are, rented out on a short-term basis. I'm looking here. We've got 241 active rentals in Sea Ranch right now. Active short-term rentals, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. 241 active short-term rentals in Sea Ranch. And we don't have the market data we have it up until August that way. And they were still experiencing pretty good occupancy rates, about 71% in Sea Ranch. And again, this is just for short-term rentals. It'll be interesting to see what the September and October data shows because, all across the board, short-term rentals are down, way down. And, as the economy turns and we go into this downturn, people are going to have less disposable money. So there's just a lot less bookings right now. So I think potentially you're going to see that people that, bought that home and were looking for a rate of return using short-term rentals, I think you may see some sales up in that area as a result of people not being able to hold on to those homes because they're not getting the rate of return now. So.
Right. And that's something, we've talked about a lot in the past is when in certain communities that are very vacation rental driven, like we've spoken about Guerneville quite a bit, where if people are
yep.
buying a home in these communities expecting that they're going to get, X amount of days of occupancy at, X amount of dollars in order to afford that payment, and now they're not getting it, well, then you're going to have a distressed sale situation. And that might not be the situation across the board, but there are those people that were expecting that rate of return in order to have that property.
Right. No, exactly. And at least Sea Ranch and Bodega Bay, as we talked about, they're under the jurisdiction of the Coastal Commission. So as of right now, the Coastal Commission is still issuing new short-term rentals rental permits, but like down in Marin County, Dillon Beach, they've put a moratorium on those short-term rentals. So
and even in Guerneville, which isn't part of the coastal
right,
zone.
yeah, exactly. Which Guerneville, so that's going to really change that real estate market. We're kind of waiting to see what happens there, and if something like that, if regulations are changed within the coastal commission jurisdiction, I think it could be catastrophic for this area. So hopefully nothing like that happens.
And I guess that's a conversation for another time, but I don't see, why that couldn't come down the road at some point. If it's for unincorporated Sonoma County right now, what's stopping that from happening to the coastal zones as well at a certain
at some point? If the full-time residents there start making enough noise about their quality of life being affected, that could happen. Although, both those areas, there are a lot of second homes, higher rates of second homes that way. So, like with Sea Ranch, if you have 98% of second homes,
right,
you're going to have a pretty big voice there of going against any type of future moratorium that way. So
totally. Yeah, so it's a really unique place. I think anyone that's not familiar with the area should definitely go up there at some point and see what it's all about.
Right. It's so like, if you're a current property owner up there and you're concerned about the market, you're concerned like maybe you are renting it out and you're concerned about what's going to happen in the future, and if you should hold on to the home, feel free to reach out to us. We can provide you a rental analysis, or we can provide you a variety of analysis to let you know, can you turn it to like a midterm or long-term rental that way, or what are the other options? How much is it worth that way? If you're a buyer, this is certainly we'd recommend keeping your eye out on this market. And they do have an airport up there, and Isaiah is a licensed pilot. So if you're in the Bay Area and you want to take a quick flight up, Isaiah can get you up there and back there really quick that way, and he knows the community. So
totally. And getting back to on the seller side, we can do very creative lease terms. Maybe you want to enjoy the home during the summer months, but you want to rent it from, say, November to April. We can totally facilitate creative lease terms, whether those 3 months, 6 months. They can be a little bit trickier to find that potential tenant to be placed in that property, but that's something we can totally work with and help you as a seller, be able to make that something that you can hold on to.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So everyone, if you have any questions about the Sea Ranch market or any real estate market in Northern California, please reach out to us. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please hit like and subscribe so you'll be notified of future podcasts. Again, I'm Sean Payne, founder of LivXplore Real Estate and Lifestyle, and thank you, Isaiah, for joining me again today. So
absolutely, we'll see you guys next time.
Talk to you soon, guys. Bye. Welcome to the LivXplore podcast. If you like what you hear, please hit like and subscribe.